Hello, everyone. Welcome to Vedic Astrology, talking about the 10th house. If you don't know who I am, I got an intro video. I just decided to get right into it, so you're more than welcome to watch that afterwards. So, today we're going to be talking about the 10th house, and the 10th house is such an important house. And we realize that there's a few things that needs to happen in this area. So the first thing it really happens here is how you show up in this world, and which I call it really karma. So the 10th house, I call it where you kind of know if you're a workaholic or not. It does represent Capricorn, and it does associate based on that. So it's under, it's in the Katrona quarterly house, so Kendra house. So it just means that it's just really important how you really show up and what kind of role or what kind of leadership that you really play into in this area. So the 10th house is the most important place because it's the most where you really shine. Just pretend that you're on a stage and all the lights are pointing at you. And so what kind of talent really you show up in the sense of how do you show up in this world? What are you well known for? It's a very magical house under, Jyotish, where you can discuss about. 10th house really shows up about the materialism, the wealth that actually brings in as an individual. So the opposite to that is actually the 4th house. And it really clearly means that I really try not to get so much in the jargon, but it's really how the worldly famous people show. The wealthy people shows up. How the status shows up, and what kind of things that really show up for you as famous, what people are known you for. So how do you make your money, and what is the talent that you really show up, and the hard work as well. And so, I'm not saying this is a silver spoon place where you kind of show up, but it's really reason why I kind of wore a jacket today. So why you wear a suit, how you show up, what you represent, what do you want to be known for, what kind of resources that you get from it, what kind of professional that you really want to show up as well, and what kind of fame and how you work in our society and what you are identify as a big picture. So when people have a full spotlight in front of you, you cannot hide any flaws, right? So especially if you're on stage. I would say this, even sometime, me being in front of everyone, and I don't know sometime how many people this video get reached, that's an audience as well. So how I show up, how I speak to you, just remember that we're all human, we're not perfect, and we are growing as individuals. So, and that's what it really is. The 10th house is really a house of status. So when you really show up for status, are you an executive in position? Is that what you're really known for? Are you well known for Vedic astrology? I'm more well known for as a coach. Not only a Vedic astrology, I just don't do straight up reading. I actually do coaching on the side to help people to understand themselves and get them through a difficult time. So, and that's really where the house of the 10th house is. A house also a career house as well, a public reputation, world status. So, so if you need to dig a little bit deeper, so what are you known for your talent? And then you ask yourself that, and how do I make my money? And what people are known for me for? Am I known for being a director, a famous administrator, a president could be as well? I think those are a really good factor. Sometimes, the 10th house, if it's an empty house and there's no planet there, people think that they don't have a good career, but that's not true, and that's not the case either. So you have to look at the 10th Lord, where is that position and what it represents, and what planet does it represent. And that's where your work ethic really comes and falls in as well. So, and I forgot to say this as well. The 10th house is a house of influence. So who is your biggest influence? Like right now, I'm on YouTube. You guys are watching me. What am I influencing you to be more positive, or to get to know yourself better, or not really, if you don't have money to get a reading with an astrologer, have a better understanding yourself, or do I have an influence you to be a better person in a relationship, or do I give you hope to find love in this world and not really believe in the soulmate or the twin flames, and just go out there and just allow yourself to be you and learn those lessons in a sense of a better version of yourself, so you get the support that you need. So that's where influence, what I mean by influence. Sorry, I'm still sitting on my bouncy ball. I just find it more comfortable instead of a regular chair. So the 10th house, that's where it really supports. And when we talked about like what areas that influence your body, it will be your knee, your thigh. That's for sure. That's where it influences. The 10th house could represent different types of people. So we talked about, the big boss. So it could be your leadership, or it could be others' boss. We could talk about the president. We have talked about leaders. We talked about, even just powerful people in positions as well. So an authority figure. So anything activity-wise, we talked about, a sense of duties. I also believe like activities, when it comes to people, it takes on responsibility. Course of somebody can have control, takes actions, and is responsible for the full picture. So doing that's really meaningful. So obligation. So activity could be anything like meetings, going to a meeting, going to something really important that has a public representation. It could be an agency that you sign on a contract and you're on stage. It could be you speaking on stage as well, public. It could be a panel. It could be obviously your workplace, your job, your title. If you're a professional, if you're an accountant or you're a lawyer, you show up in the office and you're just handling a client base and really making important decisions based on that. You could be actually even a court, a judge as well, or a jury. I think that's a really important factor. So environmental factor, we looked into like open public. So it could be on stage. It could be in your office. It could be at work. It could be in the bank. It could be definitely if you are teaching, that would be another factor as well. And sometimes teaching happens online as well. So that could be definitely a public figure for yourself as well. So when we talked about prajna or horary and things like that, so I noticed those things are like your desks, like sometimes your assets, but more like material things, like tangible things. So not intangible. I think tangible things, like we're not talking about goodwill here. We're talking about like housing, sometimes cars, buildings, and things like that. It also represents, so those are a big factor objects, and sometimes your title as well. Surprisingly enough, if you get stripped off your title because you did something bad, you get your title stripped off and you no longer become a profession or a designation in that case. So when it comes to your personal happiness, is like, how do you really show up in your 10th house? So what do you really value, and what are you really known for, and how do people perceive you as? So, and that's what it really translates. And sometimes it does matter about your career. So how do you show up in your career? What is your work ethic is like? Are you a hard worker? Is that what you're known for? And this is really why it's really, it's your karma house. And it's because it's where the action that you really take and learn and how to become a better version of yourself. So that's the experience that you get from that. So, and that's where it is. When it comes to other planetary, in this house, in the 10th house. So the first one I really see is like, for example, your goals. How do you take on responsibility and your goal and your pressure? how do you manage that? Are you like steadfast with it, or you kind of hold back, or you kind of let other people, you know, maneuver your ideas and say this is not a good idea, you should do it. But if you feel really strongly in this area, like I want to be this, like a president, then that's what you're going to go and try to achieve, and you're going to do as much following steps that you can for that. So that's where really what the 10th house, if I want to be a professional, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a doctor, any of those factors, that's where you really show up. That's how you shine to this world. And remember, the reason why the 10th house is the most bright house is because noon is when the sun is right on top of you. So noon is like when the sun is really right on top of you. So it's just imagine like the stage light is just right on top and it's like beaming down to you, and it says, show me what you have, what are you known for, go for it, right? So, and that's the big one. So the moon and I shouldn't call it planets here. For your emotion, how you show up in the 10th house, it's like, it's feeling the pressure, feeling, you really showcase how you feel most of the time. When you take on responsibility, it's not how much you think. It's like in the moment, your nurturing factor could be a factor, and when how you feel, you react on the responsibility that you might have in the situation. And it's not always logic, where when you have a certain goal or belief within yourself, in the sense of like you're driven, that's more logic. So you're more thinking on the logic ways, like, I need to take X amount of steps before I get there. Feeling based is more like I will take action when it's the right time. So that's more feeling based. So it's like, do I have to fix this? No, I'm not going to fix it. I'm in the moment. I'm feeling it in the moment. So very great for creativity. So when it comes to like the Martian activity, that's like how you show up, you being your enthusiasm, your spontaneous, anything that, you know, you want to finish and accomplish, go, that's where it is. It's making you, force you to walk that step and create a solution for you through and through. So anything when it comes to like skills, personal skills, we're talking about the ability, you to learn good things and then apply them. This is where it shows up. So it's being more flexible and changing culture and adapting, having conversation with people, understanding a better way of doing things versus with not doing it. So this is where your skills develop, and that's what you're known for. And sometimes it's known for your good writing, your ability to communicate, especially if you're on stage, speaking truthfully from your heart, or speaking. There's a way, stage, I want to say this. Stage speaking, there is a skill for it. And this is where the place where someone can develop this area is the ability to speak and be known for it. So if you watch a lot of TED Talks, a lot of these are stage speaking, and they're by a coach. So when it comes to like hope and wishes and then being an excellent teacher, this is where it is. This is where you shine. This is your natural leadership, where you take philosophy and you speak upon it, or you have a higher teaching or higher belief system that you want to have confidence and really. I feel like this placement, a lot of people who have this, it's the happy, is the teacher. It could be like, I try not to give names, but in TED Talks, there's a bunch of them right there. And they are teaching, and they are inspiring, they are motivating, they are confident in their belief. And then when it comes to like Venetian things and things like that, you could be known for your beauty as well. Like it doesn't surprise me if a lot of Victoria's Secret do have a strong 10th house, and it's just because they're known for their beauty. So you could be a model, right? And that could represent how you physically look and your sexual appearance, or what people are known for you based on that. All right, anything when it comes to like long-term hardship, all that factor is really great when it comes to like I like to use the word steadfast, and that's what I really represent. Anything when it comes to like slow but steady and then growth long term, right? We're talking about non-GMO, we're talking about organic. So that's what I'm talking about. Organic's a little bit slower to grow, but it's great success because you don't lose that success in the other process of it. And that's where it is for me. I think I have covered everything that I need to be covering. But that being said, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak with you. I wish you all the best if you are going through what you call a career transformation or things like that, because I know how important that is, because it does affect your 7th house, it affects all your other factors. And the reason why I'm wearing a suit for you guys. So, yeah, so I will see you in the 11th house, which is the next house. Is one of my biggest favorite because that's all about hope and wishes, and things will come true in this life and give you great blessing in this world. So I will see you in the next video, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.